bringing in how you do your stuff in your home.
Yeah.
And they're bringing how they do their stuff in their home.
Yeah. And we now need to figure it out.
How to so, am I
merge it together.
Okay. Then
Got to marry your mum then.
Okay, so on today's episode, I have someone really cool. I have somebody called Josy, and she's family. She's like a really, really good one. You're smiling. You're smiling. I don't know where this smile came from, but now you're relaxed a bit. Okay, but yeah, Josy, tell us a bit about yourself, and then tell us 3 fun facts about yourself, and then we'll delve into today's topic.
So, I'm Ghanaian.
Wow.
I just celebrated a birthday, so happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I work in technology in the financial services. I've been working in this industry for about 6 years now, 6 to 7 years now, I think. And yeah, I think that's a little bit about me.
Okay, and then 3 fun facts about yourself.
3 fun facts. This is the fact that I always use in interviews. Oh, I'm bilingual.
Do you know what you are? You are. We can't chat. We can't.
No, I'm bilingual.
What else?
I own a business. I own a business in Ghana. Called Baroness Gardens. If anyone wants to check that out. And then, my 3rd fun fact.
What do you use in your interviews?
Do you know what? Like in interviews, I always go for like the Ghana stuff, but that's like very cliche. Like, oh, yeah, I said a bilingual thing. I just say, I have a master's. That's a nice fun fact.
Fun fact. Okay, cool. Master's in what?
International business.
Cool. Okay. All right then. So fun facts. Okay, cool. Got that. Okay. So can I just say that if the energy is down, it's not on purpose. We're just very tired. We're the very last minute.
Oh no, the energy's gonna be up.
It's gonna be up. It's gonna be up. But I promise you, our conversations are a lot more louder than this on a daily basis. So I'm just DIY. DIY what? FYI.
FYI.
You mixing up. That's how you know I'm tired. I'm mixing up alphabets. But anyway, so
I'm loving this whole like virtual thing going on though. That COVID has allowed to happen.
Yeah. I literally saw a wedding like a few moments ago on Insta, and they've got family all over the world. So the groom's family are in Ghana, and they have like a TV, I guess, and they've connected to they're dancing in Ghana whilst they're playing like music here. They had time for this.
Yeah. That's
so,
very nice.
Yeah, like Skype calls in from American stuff like that. So that's really cool. But yeah, big up to technology, your sector. Thank you for that. Thank you. But yeah, okay. So today we're going to be speaking about feminism, and we're Josy's representing the present gen. So I've known Josy for I thought it was even a shorter time, but I've known Josy for I'd say 9. So
10 years.
Yeah, your maths is bad. No.
8 years.
13, Josy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I'm saying, I'll say, right, yeah. So yeah, 13 years. Mm-hmm.
A minute? It's been a minute.
A very long minute, yeah. So we share similar values, which is what's held us down for 13 years. So before we go further, tell us what family looked like to you when you were growing up. I know you're not grown, but you're growing in it. So what family looked like to you when you were growing up?
Okay, so when I was growing up, so I was an only child. I grew up as an only child, living with my mum and dad. So our nuclear family was quite small, but I had a lot of cousins. So I had a lot of wider family members that we were quite close to. So I kind of grew up with my cousins, my aunties, my uncles, that kind of thing. So it was still kind of like you had the small family feel and like me by myself, but you also had like a bit of a bigger family feel as well, because you all had like this extended family all around you that you kind of, I need to get my hair done, I'm going to my auntie's, like someone's birthday, we're going here. Like there's a bigger community around us when I was growing up. So that
Okay.
was kind of like the mix. And then also the fact that like I lived with my granddad for a bit when I was younger. So I lived in Ghana for a bit, lived with my godmother for a bit in Ghana. So there's always been like a time where I've been living with like different family members, either here or in Ghana. So that's also been a bit of a mix for me.
Okay. All right. So the bilingual really.
It's bilingual, mate.
Okay. 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 Do you know what's?
Sometimes even trilingual.
Oh, okay. What are you trying to force God or something?
Sometimes I try the guy. I try, and sometimes I try the pigeon. I try the trilingual. Get it?
So, I'm just gonna ignore you because I'm still trying to figure out why I said DIY instead of FYI in my head. I'm still sitting there trying to figure out where the hell I said DIY. Anyways. Okay, so you and your multilingual self. Okay, so as a younger girl, do you feel like you were allowed to dream? So I know you had your parents, I mean both parents at home, had your granddad, your godmother, wide family, small family at times as well, spending time with them. Do you feel like you had the space to grow? Do you feel like you were able to think about doing the unthinkable as a young Ghanaian girl, British Ghanaian girl?
I think I actually was. I think I was fortunate to have like that opportunity and platform because when I was younger, I wanted to be a lawyer,
Okay.
because one of my cousins went to law school, like went to LSE, did law, and like I absolutely loved him and looked up to him. So I was like, oh my god, I want to be a lawyer just like him. I want to be a lawyer just like him. Then
You drop the name, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, we love Elikim, and then you drop the name, so it may seem like I'm a big friend. Sorry, go on. Cool.
um, and then I went to law school.
Mhm.
Well, no, not law school. I went to uni to do law as my first degree, and in my second year, not even in my first year, I realized
Mm.
I ain't got it. I ain't got time for this. I ain't trying to be a lawyer. So then I was like, okay, maybe I want to work in marketing because I had an auntie that was like excelling in marketing. She was like the head of anyway, I don't want to be dropping names.
Somewhere, you're
She was
somewhere,
the head of
somewhere good.
somewhere, so
Uh-huh.
she's a big deal
Mm.
in Africa, and she was a big deal in America before she moved to Africa within marketing. So I looked at her and I was like, oh my god, I want to be just like her. She's like running things, high position, and she's got a family, married a family, all of that. Because she's an in-law, so she
Mhm.
married into the family. So like I was like, oh my god, I definitely want to be like her. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get into marketing. And that's actually how I started working on my first technology firm.
Mm.
I started working in the marketing department. And then when I worked in the marketing department, I learned a little bit more about consulting. So I said, oh, okay, well, consulting sounds like something. Yeah, that's the money makers. Those are
Mhm.
the people that actually run the business. So I'm just going to go with that. And then that's like how I ended up in consulting, which is where I've been for about 6 years now.
Okay, so
So I think I've had that opportunity to kind of like explore, but
mhm.
at the same time, I think I've also, and that's is it's less from my immediate family and more from like people around, where I still kind of get oh, so hi, are you still a lawyer? Or are you going to become a lawyer? Because no one understands consulting, no one understands technology. Everybody thinks that if it's not a lawyer,
Law,
what kind of
yeah, law,
achievement is it?
doctors, and
Yeah, what kind of career is it? And I do wonder that if I hadn't been academic, if I hadn't gone the academic route, whether I would have been supported in my dreams just as much. So if I'd been like, I wanted to be a creative, like I'm just not a creative arty type of person anyway. So I guess I've been fortunate in that I was always going to be do something quite academic anyway. But like if I wasn't, I do wonder whether I would have been able to be like, yeah, I want to be Mariah Carey.
yeah.
I don't think that would have gone down well in
Yeah,
life.
no. Wait, America. We're gonna say something different. I'm saying because I know when Josie I don't use the word sing because that's not what she does. But so when you said America, I was like, wow, you really said creative, like okay. Well, I hear where you're coming from. I hear where you're coming from, and
Yeah.
that's. I mean, we'll never know that one. But I guess it'll be easier. I think it'll be easier for you to be accepted if you were to now branch it as a side hustle because you've like found your ground in obviously what you're
Yeah,
doing.
I think now that I'm growing up, I've proven that I have a career. I've proven that I know what I'm kind of doing when it comes to like pathing away, like making a way for myself with my career, with a business. So now if I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop everything and become, I don't know, a YouTuber, I think there would be a lot more like, you know what, she knows what she's doing. People will still be a bit like, but I think there's a little bit more like she knows what she's doing, so let's just leave her to it. Than maybe 10 years ago, if I was like out of uni, I'm gonna become a YouTuber, there would be arms house.
Okay. All right. And so how am I going to do this? Okay, so as the only child, obviously the girl, how did you? What made you change the narrative? What made you not follow? Being a. I don't want to use the Ghanaian word because I don't want to, of course, cut people off. But the whole idea of wake up in the morning, wear cap and slit, like literally, cap and how do I say cap and slit in English? But a traditional
Bottom,
outfit,
yeah,
yeah,
outfit, house.
yeah, because I think when I was growing up, if I was to ever watch a Ghanaian movie, the women, they'll wake up in the morning. Some of the women, not all of them, some of the women will wake up in the morning, put on their cap and
But
sleep.
they don't even wear cap and sleeves, so they wear the wrap around. They
No,
wear the top
no, but,
and the
but,
wrap around.
no, but that's when they come back home. So they wear the cap and sleep, go to the market, go and get the
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
come back, and then
Come
they'll
back and
their
then wear
hair,
their wrap around.
and then they'll do.
Because they've reached home.
They're doing domestic engineering in the house, and that's what they're doing. How did you? Because obviously you spent some time in Ghana, so I'm sure you're probably exposed to
Yeah.
that. How did you say no? That's not me.
Yeah. So growing up, I grew up as an only child,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't grow up with like I think it would have been different if I grew up with brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had grown up with siblings, if I'd grown up with brothers, I think there would have been a lot more expectation for me to do a lot more of the what is seen as a typical female domesticated roles. I mean, I still did it, but it was just me, mom, my dad. So my mom's doing it, or my dad's doing it, or I'm doing it. So there was never a you have to do this. I mean, there still is, and there's still like things that I kind of push back on, like, oh, you have to learn how to cook for your future man. You have to learn, like, you have to learn how to do all these domestic things for your future husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of like, okay, but he also needs to learn how to look after himself in this life because, you know,
So
we came here alone, we leave
independent.
alone. We come here alone, we leave alone. So you must learn how to look after yourself in this life. Um, but I definitely think that that definitely made a difference because if I had grown up with like younger siblings, I think there would have been a lot more pressure on me to kind of come like fulfill that womanly role. Um, but I did, but and then also the fact that like I am the only child, so my parents want me to be successful. Um, and the careers that I have chosen are quite corporate. At the moment, well, they are very male dominated. Things are changing, and there's a lot more women coming into that space. But they are very male dominated, and I think all of that kind of plays into it because you just start to learn how to like maneuver this corporate life in like a different way and like make different changes. But I definitely think that that makes a big difference because now if I'm going into a relationship or I'm going into marriage, you can't tell me that I must now take on this new role because we're both working a 9 to 7. It's not a 9 to 5, it's a 9 to 7. So whoever comes home first
Is
is the one doing the cooking. Yeah, because it's not now that I'm gonna come with my cabinet, wear my cabinet and sleep and start making food when we both woke up early and
at
we
the
both
same
had a
time,
long day
probably even on
and
the
we
same
both
train.
come home. Yeah, we both come home.
Yeah.
So I've always said that if I was unfortunate enough to get married to someone that would wait for me to come home and cook for them before they ate, then they weren't hungry enough.
It's a
They don't
lot.
deserve the
I
food.
think, yeah, I think, do you know what?
They're not hungry enough.
No, and I think back in the day, it probably was air quotes okay because it was just a man working.
Mm.
But if, like you said, if it's both of us working, you got home at 5, probably got home earlier than I did, and I'm getting home at 7. Like you said, you weren't hungry enough.
You weren't
And
hungry.
this is not
Like
even,
you actually weren't.
yeah, it's not even feminism. This is pure logic, Charlie. So, like, literally, rice, rice,
Yeah.
you know.
Like, okay, yeah, I might have helped you made stew, both. And the thing is, I do know some people. It might sound like it's very like, oh, who does that? Who does that? I do know people that still live like that. I do know people even our age that still have those expectations. I know a lot of men our age that say that they don't have those expectations, or when they go into a relationship and they
Mm.
start how you start having like conversations about how their dynamics are with their girlfriends, there
Mm.
are still those quite traditional values and
Mm.
viewpoints that they have.
Mm.
um so I think it's still a conversation that needs to be had even in this day and age, so that you're both on the same page, because you can't assume that a man is still modern, like, oh yeah, we're going to be sharing everything. And as you're in for a rude awakening. A very rude awakening.
It is, yeah. And I think another thing is also, it's funny you said, so obviously what you just mentioned, and I think our upbringing, it's not even about being independent or whatever, but our upbringing is, you know, obviously those are the values that we're going to take into our marital homes, you know, should we be fortunate enough to get married and all of that jazz. Because it's like we've seen our dads doing what air quotes women will do, and you know, stepping in as and when. So it's just like, why aren't you doing it? And this is the interest. I had this conversation with one of my other friends earlier, Michelle. Recently, we're talking about, you know, when two people are about to get married or whatever, you're bringing in how you do your stuff in your home,
Yeah.
and they're bringing how they do their stuff in their home.
Yeah. And we now need to figure it out,
How to. So, oh well, my mom
merge it
doesn't make it.
together.
Okay, okay, then good.
Gotta
Good.
marry your mom then.
She's there. She can do second one. You can be the second because I'm not your
Your
husband.
jollof is as nice as my mom's. Oh, here we are.
There you go. So you know, you're asking for a lot right now. But okay. So next question is okay. So I think you've mentioned to some extent who inspired you to keep on pushing, regardless of what society painted women to look like or should look like. So you mentioned your auntie. Is there anyone else that you felt played a role in shaping you as a 21st century woman? And so,
I think my parents, like, I think my parents definitely didn't like push those kind of like they didn't push it on me
mm,
so strictly, and that kind of that helped as well.
mm,
And I think because I just didn't have those kind of things around me to be like, oh, that's what I have to do. It really helped in just kind of making sure that I saw beyond like what people society might think I need to do. I saw
mm,
beyond that and was able to kind of create what I think is my own path.
mm,
And I think just we've kind of come in a modern day. So like referring back to one of your latest episodes about what life used to be like before,
yeah.
I do think that we don't have those stricter rules and perceptions on us. They're still there, but it's not as it was before.